Shit. I'm the one calling the shots. I don't get stuck in the box. Feel like I've been through a lot.
Hello, and welcome to the video. Welcome back to the Dojo of Gain. Alright, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and also, I want to apologize for my lack of clothing. It's like 80 degrees up here. My air condition does not reach the attic. This is where I have my office. So I tried to keep my shirt on, but I just kept sweating, so I apologize for that. But this is the time that I have to go ahead and record some videos before work. So the video says all of your heroes are lying to you apart from John Cena. Let's go ahead and see what he has to say about the heroes.
Miller here, and we need to talk about Gordon Ryan again, even though we only just talked about him. But after sharing this photo, and then sharing this photo after a health scare where he needed serious treatment, Ryan then shared this photo a week on, and everyone lost their mind because of course they did. It led to comments such as the ones you're seeing on the screen right now, although if you do not have eyes and you'd like me to tell you, it was basically people pointing the finger of blame and saying this man has gone back on the juice. And this is exactly the issue with steroids, my friends, because most people genuinely do think that you just take a needle, you jab it into your ass, and within 7 days you look like Arnold Schwarzenegger, somebody who we are going to talk about later. I'm here to tell you that is not how it works. I mean, for one, no drug on earth would be able to transform you that quick, but more importantly, we just have to get this idea out of people's heads. And there are some folk out there who can't even handle a little bit of extra testosterone in their body because that's just not the way they're built. And even if you are a super responder or someone who responds very well to such drugs, you can't turn into Thor in 7 days. What planet are you living on? This is probably simply down to the fact that Gordon was totally depleted when he did share his worst picture. Then he went back into the gym, he started drinking water, he got his diet back on track when his body went, oh, I have muscle memory. I remember what you wanted me to do, and slowly but surely, he's getting back to where he was. We also have to remember the likes of the post-gym pump, lightning, and of course pre-workout, which is why sometimes I can look like this. I don't look like that every single day, and it's a constant kick in the groin, where sometimes I do catch myself in the fitness palace of love.
This is 100% true. Once you get a pump in the gym, you look way bigger than you do normally. And also, once you come off of being sick, I'm not sure if he's going to mention this, but people will say it's because he stopped his steroid use, so all of his muscles went away, which might be possible. But also, when you stop going to the gym, even if you're not on steroids, you get sick. Like, for example, I broke my arm, didn't go to the gym for a few months. I lost mostly all my muscle. And within 2 weeks of working out, I was like, I don't know, a few pounds heavier of muscle because of muscle memory. So you have to keep in mind muscle memory. The body will go back to what it was before. But obviously steroids definitely help a lot.
And then get home and have to look at this pop balloon man and be like, well, what the flub happened? I preferred the other guy. Also, please just ignore this stuff for goodness sake and focus on you. Social media isn't a real place. Most pictures you do see have been doctored in some sense, so don't get on this bandwagon and make yourself feel all sad panda. Focus on yourself and know that you're doing great and I love you. I mean, you deserve to feel good, which is not necessarily something I can say for Andrew Tate. So after dropping a podcast and a bunch of videos after his stay in a Romanian jail, and we do need to point out that he was never charged with anything, so, you know, it's important to put that out into the ether, he did say things like this.
I have about 10 to 15 cups of coffee a day and 2 or 3 cigars a day, and I only eat once a day.
That's right, he only eats once a day, but also...
It was garbage. I was like, give me my coffee back. I went back to like 15 cups of coffee a day.
Reaffirmed your coffee to have that much coffee.
Finally...
I have zero smoking damage on my lungs, zero. I was like, there's zero? I mean, I'll accept a little bit. I'll take a little bit, but I think it's because I train every single day. I work out every single day. I train hard every single day, and I think... You know, you burn it off. A couple cigars here and there are not a big deal. It's not cigarettes. I think cigars are better than cigarettes. I also believe nicotine is a super drug, so I'm not going to stop. I think nicotine and caffeine.
A super drug?
100%.
What does that mean?
Nicotine and caffeine are what I run on. 100, that's all I run on.
So there's a lot to unpack here, and of course, yes, intermittent fasting can work. A lot of people like to do it, but it's certainly not the be-all and end-all. And if you are someone that actually enjoys eating, do not think this is the path to success, that all that's going to happen is you're going to get to 8 p.m. at night and then you're going to eat a bunch of drunk because you're just so damn hungry. This is the way that most human beings operate. Secondly, no, I do not think anybody should be having 10 plus cups of coffee a day. And everyone is going to be different, but it seems...
Yeah, 10 to 15 cups of coffee a day is going to give you very high cortisol levels. You're going to be shaken. You're going to be dehydrated. There's a lot of negativity towards drinking so much coffee. Even when you drink 2 cups of coffee, I generally drink 2 cups. It takes a lot of water to feel hydrated again. I have to drink water all morning in order to be able to feel hydrated again. So I'm not sure about that, but I think Andrew Tate, he exaggerates everything a bit for entertainment purposes, and I believe that he's even admitted to it. So I would take what he says with a grain of salt as far as like eating junk food and drinking 10 to 15 cups of coffee and having 0 lung damage, unless of course he's only smoking like 1 cigar every couple of times a week or something like that. Maybe he might not have lung damage, but if it's constant, then it's going to happen. You know, I think it's a bit of an exaggeration. He probably doesn't smoke cigars all day, every day. He probably smokes like a cigar a couple times a week when he's doing a podcast to have that image of cigar smoking.
Seems to be you can take in around about 500 milligrams of caffeine every 24 hours, and if you do go over that on a constant basis, you're just going to be a jittery mess. Or you're going to be sat around going, why am I so anxious? Well, it's because you have so much coffee in your system. And also do not forget, just because Andrew Tate does it, or at least says he does it, doesn't mean this is actually going down. You can see the thread running through today's...
Yeah, another thing real quick, sorry to interrupt again, but if you're drinking such high levels of caffeine, at some point you're going to start to kill neurons and you're going to have lower cognitive function. And Andrew Tate actually has very high cognitive function, which is why I would doubt that he actually drinks that much coffee. It's more of like part of his persona.
Episode, it is all about social media. For goodness sake, take some salt and pinch it. Or take it with a pinch of salt. Finally, just for some balance as well, just because Tate says that he smokes these cigars and doesn't have any lung damage, doesn't mean that you're going to be so lucky. And tying it into one of my own personal situations, my auntie, who, yes, used to smoke back in the day, was recently diagnosed with lung cancer, and she gave up years ago. So you just never know. So always put health and fitness first. I don't think anyone needs to be smoking nothing. But again, it's not for me to say, you got to pick your own path. I will commend it.
That's pretty scary because I used to smoke weed every day for like 5 years. I mean, I quit, I think it's been over 2 years now. So hopefully I didn't cause any permanent damage to my lungs, but yeah, I'm just gonna hope I didn't. I will not be smoking in the future. And I don't see it as such an amazing thing like everybody else does. Yeah, it's fun, but it's not like you're actually accomplishing something that you couldn't accomplish otherwise. You know, like heightened creativity, blah, 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 all the things that people talk about that got me interested in the first place. You can accomplish heightened creativity by going to a run, right? When you start running and you get that runner's high, you'll start to have tons of creative thoughts. Just write down what you get after the run. There's other ways to achieve the same goal.
Him for getting his blood work done though, because that's something you should be doing as well. If you are putting erroneous things into your body, you should be checking up on your medical statistics too, because it's nice and simple. If the numbers do come back and you look at them and go, that's not exactly what I wanted to see, then just stop whatever it is that you're doing. Health and fitness has to come first and foremost, and as I now think I've said in every single one of my videos, you don't want to look big in a box. You want to look big in the real world. The only way to do that is to make sure you're feeling all right. And speaking of reminding yourself about what's true and what maybe isn't true, let's say hello to Erling Haaland. This guy. And if you are into the Premier League or soccer, for my American friends, you will recognize this Manchester City striker because he signed for the Blues, won the treble, and basically broke every single record there was to break. Also, he's an absolute monster. Because right now he is looking like this. shouldn't come as a huge surprise because he is a giant centre forward, although a few months ago, this picture did the rounds, and now everybody is mad. But it is called lighting, people, for goodness sake. I mean, if we zoom into picture number 2, you can see his abs and you can see his obliques, but he's probably stood right under a damn light, which is washing him out. Whereas with picture 1, he's outside, he's probably got better lighting. Maybe he's just done a bunch of, oh, I can't believe we won the treble, so he's got a little bit of a pump on. But try and pretend this is some kind of massive transformation when it's absolutely not. He's also probably...
Yeah, it's a pump. Pumps make a way bigger difference than you guys think. If you want to prove this theory, just go ahead and do a high repetition drop set on your biceps and see how big your arms look afterward.
filtered the shit out of it, because you do it, and I do it, so why wouldn't he? Haaland will also have a bunch of people watching his diet and watching his training regime every single minute of every single hour. So sure, maybe over the 3 months, the 4 months when they did have their big run-in to win all these 3 cups, he leaned up his diet a little bit and he got a little bit more cut. But I cannot stand these people who are now going, oh my gosh, it's such an amazing transformation. The dude's in great shape and he deserves all the plaudits, but you have to remember...
I'm going to go ahead and see who else he mentions. I actually don't know who this guy is. I mean, if you're a fan of him, I apologize. But let me see. Arnold Schwarzenegger... I mean, everybody knows that Arnold Schwarzenegger was on Dianabol. He's admitted it. It's not like he hides it, but...
There's a dude who is in very good shape, but Joseph Bania recently did say that he's catching up with his dad. And I kind of feel like we should leave that there, because he's not. However, he did drop some great advice from Arnie, because he's...
His son has an amazing physique, and he has similar muscle bellies to his father. He's probably not using the same level of PEDs, and also probably not working out as much as his father did, considering it was his main job. His son probably has another job, so he does deserve the recognition for the fact that he has amazing development, and he's probably working his ass off. So he does not deserve to be put down. That's just my opinion.
Said, my dad's main piece of advice has always been do the reps, and it sounds just like the gym, but it really makes sense because it's all about practice, practice, practice. The more that you practice, the more that you can prepare for these roles, the better you're going to be, and I've taken that to heart, and I've taken that into every role that I've been doing. And this is true! Everything I've ever approached in my real life, I've always applied gym logic, which...
True, let's go ahead, let's keep going. I don't want to be on the here all day. Who else does he have? John Cena... The Rock, he mentions The Rock. Everybody knows The Rock's on steroids, and he's lying. This is obvious. If you know how the human body works, he's 50 years old.
Rob, what's going on here?
That's right, at some point recently, John Cena was just in a random gym in Liverpool. And that guy saw him and totally freaked out, which you did do, 1, because it's John Cena, and 2, how was he able to see him to begin with? It's also time for a Miller's musing, because this reminds me of the time where I went to a gym in Slough, where a bunch of people there told me, oh dude, you just missed the rock in here.
Now I'm going to say something controversial that's going to make people a little bit mad, but I think John Cena might only be on TRT because John Cena is kind of like a genetic outlier. He's a genetic freak. If you've ever seen his wrist and his hands, he has an enormous bone structure, which will aid in making your muscles look huge. So he is a genetic outlier. He's like massive just based on his bones alone.
Here, and I was like, don't you pull my chain, you absolute heathen. And obviously it made the papers, it made social media, this picture came out, and I genuinely missed the great one by mere seconds. So that's a screw job if I ever have chatted about one. What a depressing way to end the video.
Alright, I'm going to end the video right here. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Nothing but love. I appreciate you guys greatly.